Hey Mary, I didn't see these other two, so I'm going to go ahead and do these. We're going to convert negative 4r minus 2u to polar forms. The first thing we have to do is figure out where this lives in the Cartesian coordinate system. All right, so this is a negative, negative. So we know in the quadrant system that we've got positive, positive. So this is positive, positive side. Positive, negative. So this is going to be negative, positive. So it's not there. This is the negative side of the y-axis. So this would be a negative x and a negative y, right? And this is the x and this is the y. So it's going to live down here somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over what we think is about 4. So it'd be negative 4, right? And then we're going to come down to, we'll say that's about down to, and that is going to be our right triangle right there. So yes, this is a negative 4, and this is a negative 2. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 on the x-axis. So at the negative 4 on the x-axis, and at the negative 2 on the y-axis, right? So negative 4 and negative 2, right? That's where that point is. It doesn't matter to the right triangle whether this is positive or negative. This is 4 spaces and this is 2 spaces, and this is our right triangle. That's all that matters. So that is what we're going to use to find the length, which is the hypotenuse here. This is just an upside down triangle. This is our vector. And we're trying to find the hypotenuse, and it's going to be the hypotenuse and then the degree of measure, right? So that's how we convert it to polar form. So in order to find that, we've got to find what this degree is here, and we know that from here to here this is 90 degrees, and from here to here this is 180 degrees. So whatever this degree of measure is, we'll add that to 180 and put it in here. So we're going to use Pythagoras theorem to find the length of the hypotenuse first. So we've got a leg that's 4 and a leg that's 2. And that is the hypotenuse squared. So it's going to be 16 plus 4 is equal to h squared. That's 20 is equal to h squared. Unsquare both sides. I know this is going to be the square root of 4 times the square root of 5, which this turns into a 2. So that means that 2 times the square root of 5 is equal to h. That's what goes here. So 2 times the square root of 5. And now we've got to find the degree of measure. So now that we have our hypotenuse length, we can use that to calculate the degree of measure here. Maybe. We may not even need it. So I know that if I look at my, got so, ka, toa, if I look at my sides that I have, this is my angle that I'm trying to find, because we want to go from here all the way around to here, right? And find out what that degree of measure is. So I got to find this little bit to add to 180 like we've already talked about. So I think what I'm going to do is use TOA, because this would be the opposite side and this would be the adjacent side, and I have nice whole numbers that I can use. So we're going to say the tan, let's call this angle theta. The tan of theta is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. So 2 over 4. Whenever possible, you want to reduce this fraction, right? So the tan of theta is equal to 1 over 2. We know what that is, right? But we can use the calculator just to, make life easier on ourselves. We know it's going to be 0.5, but we can say 1 divided by 2 just to get it in the calculator. And now we're going to find the inverse tan. So second and then tan of -1. That's the inverse tan. And that's going to give us the degree of measure. So the degree of theta is equal to 26.57. That is the degree of measure. So we add that to 180. So 180 plus 26.57, that's going to be 206.57 degrees. And I think it's to 2 places. I'm pretty sure it's to 2 places. Let me double check that. All right, that is exactly what it's looking for. So what this is going to be is 2 times the square root of 5 into the length of your hypotenuse, and 206.57 would go there in the degree of measure. All right, so let's look at the other one. All right, so this problem, convert 4 cubic miles to cubic kilometers. So we've got 4 cubic miles. We want to convert that to cubic kilometers. So we go from miles to feet to inches to centimeters to meters to kilometers. And we're going to do that by cubing everything. So we're going to first start with miles to feet. So that's going to be 5,280 cubed, feet cubed, over 1 cubed mile cubed. And that's just to keep us from having to write it 3 times, right? So now we're going to get rid of feet, go from feet to inches. So we've got 12 cubed inches cubed over 1 cubed foot. That cancels that. Then we're going to go from inches to centimeters. So 2.54 cubed centimeters cubed. 1 cubed inches cubed converts that. Then we're going to go from centimeters to meters. So 1 cubic meter is equal to 100 cubed centimeters cubed. That cancels that. And now we're going to go to kilometers. 1 cubic kilometer is equal to 1,000 cubic meters. So that cancels that. So our answer is going to be 4 times 5280 cubed times 12 cubed times 2.54 cubed over 100 cubed times 1,000 cubed, and that is all kilometers or cubic kilometers, kilometers cubed. This is the answer you should type in. I don't want you to solve it. We never want you to solve these. We want you to put it in this format, because when you type it in like this, then I can see, yes, she knows what she's doing. Yes, she's using the right conversion steps. Anybody can multiply it and divide it after that. Multiplication and division is easy at this point. The hard part is putting everything in the right place and doing the conversion in the right order. So this allows me to see this stream of events. So we don't want you to solve it. We want you to get the right stream of events so that we know that you've got it and you understand what's going on. And then that saves you from having to type all of these numbers in the calculator. We save you a whole lot of headache, because then you have this big, huge number that then you've got to divide. We don't want you to do all of that. Just do this part. And I think that's where you're having some issues. You don't need to solve the whole thing. Stop here, right? And then the system will mark more of them correct for you. All right, that's all I have. These were the last 2 you sent me. I just didn't see them when I did the first video because it got mixed in with some other messages. All right, I will see you after Christmas. Have a great one and a Happy New Year. Bye for now.